Okay. Hi. My name is Anekan from Nigeria. We'll be looking at the core components of a virtual machine and how to leverage virtualization. One of the core components of virtual machine or VM is the hypervisor. The hypervisor is the software that sits between the physical hardware and the virtual machine. It allocates CPU, memory, and storage for the host machine and presents it to each virtual machine as if it were its own physical computer. Okay, let's look at other core components of the virtual machine. The other core components of the virtual machine are the same as the physical PC. You have virtual CPU cores, virtual RAM, a virtual hard disk, and a virtual network adapter, and a guest operating system. For example, I could install Windows Server or Windows 10 as the guest operating system inside the virtual machine. The virtual hard disk is just a file on the host, like a .vhd or vhdx file, and the virtual NIC allows the virtual machine to connect to the company network just like a physical computer would. In short, a VM mimics a real computer, but everything is software defined and runs on top of the hypervisor. Now let's look how we can leverage the VM in the business setting. In a business setting, I will leverage virtualization technology in three main ways. Let's look at the first one. For testing and development. For example, in the Student Success Center project, instead of buying 6 new physical computers, we could use one powerful server with Hyper-V. We could spin up separate VMs for the domain controller, for testing group policy, and for training new advisors. If something breaks, we can just revert to a snapshot instead of rebuilding a physical PC. Second, for cost savings and resource efficiency. Virtualization allows us to run multiple servers on one piece of hardware. So instead of having one physical server for a file sharing, one for DNS, and one for printing, we can run 3 virtual machines on one host. This saves money on power, cooling, and hardware. Third, for disaster recovery and security. Because a virtual machine is just a file, we can take snapshots and back up easily. If a VM gets a virus or a bad update, we can roll it back in minutes. We can also isolate risky software inside the virtual machine so it doesn't affect the main business network. Overall, virtual machine makes an IT environment more flexible, secure, and cost-effective. It is the foundation for modern business infrastructure. Okay, that's how I would explain and apply virtual machine in a business setting. Thank you.